Andrew's Doers! Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Tina, Winona, and Una. Tina, Winona, and Una made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tina, Winona, and Una all together. One day, the king of Doubleburg's messenger said, Hear ye, the king of Doubleburg, his majesty, is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and cross shall marry his son, Prince Twinning. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsister, Tina said, he's going to marry me. Winona said, no way, Tina, he's going to marry me. Una said, both of you are wrong, he's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is very sad that she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Twinning. And her fairy godmother asks Cinderella what's wrong by saying, why are you crying, Cinderella? Cinderella responds, and sadly, I wanted to go to the ball and marry Prince Twinning. Her fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of double magic. She waves her magic wand and chants the magic words, dibbly dabbly dobbly doo. And all of Cinderella's chores are done, but the fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, fetch me a pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has 2 pumpkins. The fairy godmother waves her magic wand and chants the magic words, dibbly dabbly dobbly doo. Again, turning the 2 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 2 strong horses, and then Cinderella's clothes into a gown and crown. I've never seen such a double-tasted gown. And get a lot of my glass slippers. Cinderella is now ready for the ball. Her fairy godmother said, have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Twinning was wondering who he should marry. Cinderella, of course. Tina, Winona, and Una shout out together, he's walking towards me! But he's not. But he is walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Twinning danced happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince Twinning was so worried, afraid that she might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around Doubleburg to find her, and brought the 2 glass slippers with him. He knocked on the door where Cinderella, Tina, Winona, and Una lived. But instead of Cinderella, he found Tina, Winona, and Una. Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on these 2 glass slippers? Prince Twinning asks. Tina is first, but her feet are too big. Winona is next, but her feet are too small. Una is last, but her feet aren't the right size either. Suddenly, Prince Twinning noticed Cinderella's sweet singing. Cinderella shouts excited, Prince Twinning, is that you? Prince Twinning responded, of course it's me. You are from my father's ball. I love you. Will you marry me? Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Twinning back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrews Doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and buy our merchandise. Take care. Bye. Oh, yeah. And now, Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 5 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, and Tasha. Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, and Tasha made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, and Tasha all together. Then one day, the king of Autonahan's messenger arrives and says, "Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Autonahan is going to throw a ball, and will have the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Autobling." But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. They then argue over who will Prince Autobling marry. Later, Cinderella is so sad, as she can't go to the ball and marry Prince Autobling while doing chores. Suddenly, her fairy godmother asks Cinderella what's wrong by saying, "Why are you crying, Cinderella?" Cinderella responds, "I got lots of chores to do, but I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Autobling." Cinderella's fairy godmother said, "I can help with a bit of magic," and waved her magic wand. Because of that, Cinderella's chores are all done, but her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, "Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin." Luckily, Cinderella has a pumpkin. Cinderella's fairy godmother waved her magic wand again to turn the 8 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 16 strong horses, and then Cinderella's rich clothes into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, "I've never seen such an terrific gown. Get a load of my glass slippers." Her fairy godmother said, "Have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before." Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Autobling was wondering who he should marry. Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, and Tasha say all together, "He's walking towards me." But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Autobling danced happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince Autobling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again, so he traveled all around Autobling to find her and brought the 2 glass slippers with him. By the time he arrives, he knocks on the door of the house where Cinderella, Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, and Tasha lived. But instead of Cinderella, he finds Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, and Tasha. He then says, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can you try on these glass slippers?" Eliza is first, but her foot is too big. Isabella is next, but her foot is too small. The rest did the same, but none of their feet were the right size. Suddenly, Prince Toppling notices Cinderella's sweet scene. The glass slippers fit! And Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Toppling back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. And Andrew Stewards, I hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise too. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Doers, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 512 Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella, with a bit of a twist. Once upon a time, there was a young woman named 512 Cinderella. 512 Cinderella had 17 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Fiona, Isabella, Verona, Ella, Huerta, Uma, Nina, Dahlia, Ramona, Estrella, Davina, Tasha, Winona, Alara, Lana, Valentina, and Edna. All 17 of them constantly made fun of 512 Cinderella and made her do all the chores. 512 winch, sweep the floors, wash the dishes and windows, do it all, said the 17 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters all together. One day, the king of 512's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of 512 his kind-hearted, wise, but royal majesty is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Quinjen Toppling. But 512 Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. They ran away overjoyed with huge excitement and picked out dresses to wear to the ball, but argue over who will Prince Quinjen Toppling marry. Later, 512 Cinderella is so sad, doing chores about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Quinjen Toppling while doing chores. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks 512 Cinderella what's wrong by saying, Why are you crying, 512 Cinderella? 512 Cinderella responds, I can't go to the ball and marry a prince decide Quinjen Toppling. Her fairy godmother says, I can help with a bit of magic. Nobody will know it's you. And waves her magic wand. Because of that, 512 Cinderella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet, she said. 512 Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, 512 Cinderella has 512 pumpkins and 1,024 mice. 512 Cinderella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 512 pumpkins into a handsome coach, and drawn by the to mice, turning into 1,024 strong horses, and then 512 Arelas ripped clothes and dragged into a gown and crown. 512 Arella said, I've never seen such a duodecaquen-tastic gown! And get a load of my glass slippers! Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? 500 Arellas. Fairy godmother said, well, you can't, but have fun. 512 Arella, but I will warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. And so, 512 Arella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince duodecaquen was wondering who he should marry. The ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters say, he's walking towards me! Altogether, but he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 512 Arella. May I have this dance? Asks Prince duodecaquen. 512 Arella responds, I will be delighted. Prince duodecaquen and 512 Arella dance happily together. But a few hours later, 512 Arella roses almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince duodecaquen was so worried that he might never see 512 Arella again. So he and his father, the king of 512ville, traveled all around the neighborhood to find her and brought the glass slippers with them. By the time they arrived, they knock on the door of the home where 512 Arella and her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 512 Arella, they find her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters. Prince duodecaquen then says, Ladies, my father, the king of 512ville, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on these glass slippers? Fiona is first, but her feet are too big. Isabella is next, but her feet are too small. Nonsense! They fit! The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, the king of 512ville and Prince duodecaquen notice 512 Arella's sweet singing. The glass slippers fit! 512 Arella transforms back into a princess and gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince duodecaquen back. And then they both lived happily ever after. Even the king of 512ville. The end. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrew Stewards. Don't forget to subscribe, like it, share, and Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise at AndrewDoesEverything.com. And take care. Bye.